Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. Oceans and Continents, which is chapter 2 of the social science textbook of NCERT for CBSE class 6 students, exploring society, India and beyond. Now, what are we going to study in this particular chapter? Mainly about the large water bodies that are there on Earth. In fact, most of the entire globe is covered by water and not by landmass. That's going to be an interesting aspect that you're going to learn in this particular chapter. And which are the different continents? What are islands? Which are the different oceans that we need to know about? What about the Antarctica? What about the Arctic Pole? All that, Arctic Ocean, which is the smallest one, all that and more. And what about the Indian Ocean? So there's so much to learn as far as this chapter is concerned. And I hope to make it as interesting as possible for all you students. So let's get straight into the oceans and continents chapter. Seedha dubki marte hain.
So what do we really think of when we hear the word ocean, when we hear the word continent? Now let's start with this quote by Jules Verne, who was a very popular French science fiction writer. He said, "The ocean is everything it covers," and this is an important statistic, what I referred to in the intro, 7/10, which means 70% of our Mother Earth is actually water. Pani, pani, har jagah par. Its breath is pure and healthy, the ocean. It is an immense desert, which is why many of us love to have a beach holiday, even though it gets very humid. But many of us love to have a beach holiday and go to places in Kerala, Goa, right? Visakhapatnam, Odisha. It is an immense desert. Now, desert where it is water, where man is never lonely, for he feels life stirring all around. How does life stir? Because of the waves that keep coming, right? On the sea, in the sea. So the ocean is the vast reservoir of nature. If the globe began with the ocean, so to speak, and who knows if it will not end with it, right? So ocean was what life originated on Earth. So this is an interesting thing. So what you are seeing on this, in this photograph, all these kind of, the patches. See this part that you see out here, this is all the land mass, right? This is land, this is India, right? But these are of course some clouds. But you can also make out that this is all entirely water, right? Now, let's move. It's a fascinating chapter. Now, this is a photograph of Earth sent from space, right? And it is centered on the Pacific with Africa on the left, India and part of Asia at the top, and Australia on the right, and Antarctica at the bottom. This place is all Antarctica. Now, let us return to our globe and rotate it gently. I told you, invest in a globe, invest in a map. So rotate it gently and look at how much of the area is actually blue. Pura neela neela hai, right? So you look at the picture of the Earth seen from the moon. Imagine this is the moon and you are seeing the Earth. What is the color that you are likely to see more than any other color? It would be that of water, which will be blue in color, right? So blue in color, which is conveying water. This means most of the Earth's surface is actually covered with water, almost 3/4 of the surface, in fact, which is why I said 75%, 70 to 75%. That is why when seen from outer space, the Earth seems mostly blue. Indeed, early astronauts lovingly called the Earth the blue planet. This is an important word. अगर MCQs वगैरह क्वेश्चंस आए तो आपको इसमें पूछा जा सकता है कि अर्थ का दूसरा नाम क्या था, right? So the largest water bodies that we see on the globe are obviously the oceans, यानी कि समुंदर, महासागर जिसको कहते हैं. अगर हिंदी में बोले तो महासागर, समुंदर सी को बोलते हैं, महासागर would be the ocean. But in the picture of the Earth, you can see at least one other color, that is brown. This color is that of land. So brown and blue will be the two colors that you are more likely to see. That covers the remaining 1/4 of the globe. So 75%, 3/4 is water, blue in color. 1/4 is land, which is brown in color, where you are actually sitting right now watching this video from the moon, your area, my area will be seen as brown in color. Okay. Chalo, mujhe to bahut maza aa raha hai. I hope you also enjoy. Now, a large body of land is called the land mass, because land, mass of land. So it's called mass, land mass. And a large continuous expanse of land. Expanse ka matlab where there is lot of land, expanse, over a large distance. That is called a continent. So please, ye do definitions aapko yaad rehni chahiye. What is a landmass and what is a continent? These definitions you need to remember. So please यहाँ पर आप एक स्टार मार्क कर दो, नोटबुक में अलग से नोट कर दो. Okay. Now both oceans and continents play a vital role in shaping the climate of the earth. How? Because you have the water evaporating, forming clouds, and then the clouds move over earth and it rains over earth, right? So both the water body and the land mass play an important role in regulating and deciding and maintaining the climatic मौसम कैसा रहेगा, right? And this obviously affects all aspects of life, human beings, plants, animals, right? And we will see their impact through history and culture and our daily lives. I mean, बारिश नहीं होती तो कैसा लगता है, अरे कितनी गर्मी है यार, बारिश कब होगी? When it becomes a little cloudy, you like it, right? How does it become cloudy? Because of the process of evaporation, condensation, and then precipitation in the form of rainfall. Now for an interesting aspect which is there here in Don't Miss Out. What does it say? The emblem of the Indian Navy. Now, Navy is involved in what? Ensuring the security on the seas across India. You know, the Bay of Bengal, the Indian Ocean, and the Arabian Sea. ताकि समुंदर के रूट से कोई हमला ना हो भारत पर, right? So, Indian Navy का जो मोटो है वो है Sam No Varuna. Okay, Sham No Varuna. That's how it's pronounced. Which means be auspicious to us, O Varuna. Now, why Varuna? Who is Varuna? Varuna is considered to be a Hindu god who is associated with the ocean, right? The sky, the water bodies. So, Varuna, Varun Devta को एक तरह से नमन करने के लिए ये एक मोटो लगाया गया है भारतीय नेवी के एम्ब्लम पर. Okay, so this is a side information that you should be aware of. Now, let's look at the distribution of water and land on the earth. Now, as it happens, oceans and continents are not distributed equally between the northern and southern hemispheres. Northern and southern hemispheres कैसे decide होते हैं? Because of the imaginary line called the equator. I hope आपने पहला वीडियो ऑलरेडी देख लिया है. नहीं देखा तो पॉज करो, पहले उसको देख के ऑर्डर में जाएंगे. ओके, तो because many of the things are interconnected. That's why I'm saying. So now अब देखो ये जो दो है, अभी आप सोचेंगे अरे ये अर्थ का मैप ऐसा कैसे हो गया? ये इसलिए हो गया बिकॉज जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे जो आपको दिख रहा है दैट इज सीन फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ पोल. यानी कि अगर गोल ऐसा है तो ऊपर से जो दिखता है वो ये व्यू है लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे, नीचे से जो दिखता है वो व्यू है राइट हैंड साइड पे. नाउ इट मेक्स इट इंटरेस्टिंग. सो ये होगा तो अगर क्या आप देख सकते हैं कौन सा है? ये हो गया आपका अफ्रीका, ये हो गया आपका पूरा यूरोप, राइट? यूरोप एंड एशिया, राइट? ये हो गया हमारा इंडिया, ये हो गया नॉर्थ अमेरिका यानी कि यूएसए एंड कनाडा. ओके, ये यूएसए एंड कनाडा. ये व्यू आता है, ये है ग्रीनलैंड जिसके बारे में मैं बाद में आपको बताऊंगा. दिस इज the largest island in the world. So this is the view from the top, ऊपर से top view. Bottom view देखेंगे, so this is Antarctica, this is Australia, this is the tip of South America, this is the tip of Africa. South Africa ये यहाँ पे आता है. Okay, so this is the view from the North Pole and the South Pole. Interesting ना? I found it very interesting. Now let us examine the two maps in figure 2.2, that is this one. Here the blue areas consist of oceans along with their smaller extension which are like sea, bay, gulf वगैरह वगैरह. Okay, so ये पूरा blue area जो है ये पूरा समुंदर है, महासागर है, और जहां पर भी आपको ये येलोइश ब्राउनिश एरिया दिखता है, दैट इज द लैंड मास, द कॉन्टिनेंट्स. What are the circular lines in each map called? Now, this is something which we learned in the first chapter, latitudes and longitudes. You need to mark which of these are latitudes, which of these are longitudes. Now, which hemisphere holds more water? Obviously, map को देखें, globe को इस view से देखें, साफ पता चलता है कि southern hemisphere holds more water, because ये southern hemisphere का view है, वो northern hemisphere का view है. तो obviously southern hemisphere में land mass कम है, it is lesser, so it is a southern hemisphere that is holding more water than the northern hemisphere. Okay, what do you think could be the approximate proportion of water to land in the northern hemisphere? I can tell you that the proportion of land to water is 60% to 40% of land in the northern hemisphere. Okay, in the southern hemisphere, it is water is 80 and land is 20. Approximately, this could be 61, 62 to 38. This could be 79 to 21, yeah, 81 to 19. Utna, but approximately this is the breakup. Okay. Are all the oceans connected with each other? No, they are not connected with each other. There are no separations. Sorry, they are connected with each other. In a sense, they are continuously flowing. There is no ऐसा boundary नहीं है कि यहाँ पे Pacific खत्म होता है, यहाँ से Atlantic शुरू होता है. There is no clear boundary. I mean, you have an approximate idea कि यहाँ से we are now in the Pacific Ocean, यहाँ से we are in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Now, आगे चलते हैं. Now you see these coral reefs. I had mentioned to you. उसमें मैं photograph डालना बंद कर दिया. भूल गया. इसमें मैं याद रखूंगा. Andamans mein, when I had gone down in 2018, we did a sea walk. There we could actually touch all these coral reefs. If you ever get an opportunity to go to Andamans, please do the sea walk. It is fascinating. You go, you touch the surface. You are right on the bottom of the seabed, right? Your feet are on the seabed and you walk and you can touch all these corals, the fishes floating around you, the coral reefs like what you're seeing out here. It's fascinating. Lakshadweep may be here, but Andamans is truly fascinating. Okay. You have all these kind of different aquatic life, the dolphins, the fish like this. I'll put this photograph. Beautiful it is. These are, of course, in Antarctica. The sea turtles, the algae on the left side, ये जो green color में दिख रहा है. Okay. The oceans together hold most of the water available on the planet, obviously. But the sea water, लेकिन समुद्र का पानी, महासागर का पानी आप पी नहीं सकते हैं because वो नमकीन होता है. It is salty in nature and it is therefore unfit for consumption. Though there are some countries like Israel who have developed the technology wherein you can remove the salty component and make it fit for use by human beings also. Okay, but fresh water, but there is fresh water where it is there in your rivers, it is there in your pond, it is there in your lakes, right? Because this is either rainwater or it is melted from the glaciers and it comes into the rivers and the different water bodies. और जब ये नीचे जाता है, that is called groundwater. When it seeps inside the ground, the soil, it becomes the groundwater और उसको बोर के तरीके से आप अपनी buildings वगैरह में इस्तेमाल करते हैं. That's how you make use of the groundwater. So you have groundwater and you have fresh water in rivers, in lakes, in ponds, etc. Right? Where you can take bath, wash clothes, swim, do different activities. So think about this, that if there is so much of abundance of water on the planet, why do we talk about water scarcity? We speak about water scarcity because our freshwater bodies are drying up. We are not taking care of it. कोई lake summer के महीने में सूख जाता है. Okay, and I'm telling this to you from personal, experience, having covered all this in detail. So what happens is that during the summers, and you should know about this because इस सब चीजों के ऊपर आप project कर सकते हैं बाद में. So what happens is that if there is a particular lake or a pond, during the summer, it dries up. What will a greedy builder do? He will go to the municipal corporation, say, "Arey, this has got dried up. Why not we fill it up with sand and soil and build buildings on it? Okay, we can make money." So the municipal corporation will say, good idea. So they do that. Okay, so they build buildings. Now it rains. It rains heavily. Now, when it rains, the rain knows that when it rains, that is the path where I go and fill up, because that used to be the pond for centuries, for many, many decades, so many years. तो वहां पानी आ जाता है, ग्राउंड फ्लोर, फर्स्ट फ्लोर पूरा भर जाता है, एंड देन पीपल क्राई, अरे पूरा पानी भर गया, सरकार कुछ नहीं कर रही, गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग, व्हाट इज माय एमएलए डूइंग, व्हाट इज माय मिनिस्टर डूइंग? Who asked you to buy a plot of land in a river bed, in a pond bed, in a lake bed, right? और अपार्टमेंट्स का नाम डाल देते हैं लेक व्यू अपार्टमेंट्स. Okay, it becomes truly a lake view when it rains. So always be careful. Don't buy properties in areas which were earlier water bodies, because water knows only one thing, that it will go and flow into where it has been flowing for so many years. Even if it dried up temporarily, it will come back with a vengeance. So that's what happens. So there is a water crisis because human beings, man is a greedy animal, is a greedy creature. उसको हर जगह अपना घर बनाना है, हर जगह commercial properties करनी है, because of which there is a water crisis. We are not maintaining our water bodies, right? That's why we are not able to, and we have the oceans whose water we cannot generally consume. What ways of saving water are you aware of? Well, you should know about this. One is rainwater harvesting. That is, when rain comes, instead of allowing it to go waste, you harvest it. Means you create some kind of percolation pits, because of which it goes into the ground, which you can use later as borewell water. Okay, so you recharge your groundwater system. The second could be, how can you do that? For instance, in village, you can do drip irrigation. That means you save water. Instead of putting a lot of water for your crops, you do drip irrigation, you do sprinkler irrigation, which use less amount of water in order to water your crops, in order to irrigate your crops. So that can be done in a village. So मैंने आपको दो ऐसे तरीके बता दिए by which you can save water, because water is a precious resource. In fact, many reports have come out which say that the next big battle could well be fought over water. We have seen between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Students from both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu will be aware how they used to fight over Kaveri water, because Kaveri water used to go dry during the summer months, many parts. So there wouldn't be sufficient water for Karnataka, which is the upper state, upper riparian state bolte hain, and then it has to flow into Tamil Nadu. So they would not be able to release sufficient water for Tamil Nadu. So yahan par jo farmers who want the water from the Kaveri, their crops will dry up, right? So it is a genuine problem. Let's now come to oceans. Now on the world map, we can observe 5 oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Hamara, Arctic Ocean right on top, and the Southern or Antarctic Ocean. Figure 2.3 on page 32. ये कौन सा है देखता हूं मैं जाके. 32 तो आगे है. Okay, we'll just show the map so that it's clear at the same time. तो how do you distinguish it? पहला देख लेते हैं आर्कटिक ओशन, जो बिल्कुल नॉर्थ पोल के ऊपर है. ये हो गया आर्कटिक ओशन, which is at the north pole. Okay, this is how you remember it. Then let's go right नीचे. This is the Southern Ocean, which is around Antarctica. याद हो गया. तीसरा आते हैं Indian Ocean पर, which is below India, right? So this entire area is called Indian Ocean. Of course, this is the Arabian Sea, this is the Bay of Bengal, and this is the Indian Ocean. Okay, ये पूरा Indian Ocean हो गया. ये तीसरा. Then the portion between North America and Europe is known as Atlantic Ocean. तो कैसे याद रखेंगे? North America का A, Africa का A, तो इसके बीच में जो होगा, this is known as Atlantic Ocean. A, ऐसा करके याद रख लो. America, Atlantic Ocean, Africa. This is how you'll remember, right? अमेरिका के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे दिस इज द पैसिफिक ओशन, विच इज द लार्जेस्ट ओशन. सो पैसिफिक ओशन यहां पर भी है, और यहां से इस तरफ जाके इस तरफ से जब आएगा, दैट इज यहां पे जापान वगैरह रहेगा. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो पैसिफिक ओशन. सो दिस एंड दिस इज द सेम थिंग, राइट? ये उस ग्लोब के उस तरफ है, बिकॉज ये तो हमने फ्लैट करके देखा ना, तो ये पोर्शन गोज इनटू दैट साइड एंड इट कम्स फ्रॉम दिस साइड. सो पैसिफिक ओशन इज द लार्जेस्ट वन. So ये 5 हो गए. So although we have listed 5 oceans, it's clear from the map that they're not clearly separate. The lines that divide are like conventions. The natural world, obviously, I mean, हाउ डू दे नो कि यहाँ पे पैसिफिक ओशन, इस बूंद से पैसिफिक ओशन शुरू होगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है, बट वी नो वेगली दैट दिस इज हाउ इट इज. So seawater, for example, constantly flows across different oceans, sustaining a rich diversity of marine life. What is marine life? Marine is a word associated with oceans. तो उसको marine life बोलते हैं. Fish, corals, reefs, dolphins, whales, sharks, ये सब marine life में आते हैं. Okay, so many plant and animal species like the ones that I just mentioned can be found across multiple oceans. The marine flora includes tiny plants called algae, जो अभी वो green photograph मैंने पहले दिखाई, and all kinds of seaweeds. The marine fauna consists of thousands of species of colorful fish, dolphins, whales, and deep sea creatures. Okay, each part of the ocean, from the sunlit surface to the dark depths, has its own diverse life forms. Okay, so this is information. So flora and fauna क्या होता है? Flora is the plant life, fauna is the animal life. So ये दोनों word आपको याद रहने चाहिए. What is flora and what is fauna? इसके ऊपर और क्या है? Marine life related to ocean. वही जो मैं बताया आपको, मैं देखा ही नहीं इसको. तो इसमें देख लो कौन कौन से हैं. पैसिफिक ओशन नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में भी है, सदर्न में भी है. अटलांटिक ऊपर भी है, नीचे भी है. इंडियन भी ऊपर है, ज्यादातर नीचे है, राइट, है ना. सदर्न ओशन इज ओनली इन सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, आर्टिक ओशन इज ओनली इन नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर, राइट. नाउ Pacific Ocean is the largest of them all, followed by the Atlantic Ocean. Indian Ocean is number 3. Southern Ocean is number 4. सबसे छोटा है Arctic Ocean. ये ऑर्डर आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा. उसी ऑर्डर में ऊपर भी ये जो टेबल है ये उसी ऑर्डर में बनाया गया है. ओके, ये तो मैंने आपको बता दिया. तो दिस इज हाउ इट इज. अरेबियन सी, यहां पे बॉम्बे है. This is Bay of Bengal. You have Chennai here. You have Visakhapatnam here. You have this is Odisha. This is Kolkata. This is Bangladesh, right? And this is Kochi. This is यहाँ पर Mangalore आता है, right? So you will know that. So जो पहला वाला फोटोग्राफ देखा था उसमें सफेद सफेद जो मैंने बताया था बादल जो थे, right? So such clouds, and I've explained this already, they bring rain to the continents. The monsoon rains in India expect every summer, which originate in the ocean. They originate like this, which is why it is Kerala which gets the first rainfall in the month of end of May, early June, end of May. May 31 is generally the date when it gets, and then it moves inwards. Then it moves toward Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, Maharashtra करके ऊपर जाता है. But oceans also give rise to storms, यानी कि तूफान, violent events with extreme rainfall and very strong winds, such as cyclones. Or cyclones generally Bay of Bengal में ज्यादा आते हैं. That's why you have the 3 states of Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, and to an extent Tamil Nadu, which are very prone to cyclones. Okay, cyclones काफी आते हैं whenever there is some kind of a weather disturbance in the Bay of Bengal, और वहां से फिर cyclone धीरे धीरे आता रहता है. cyclone को हिंदी में चक्रवात कहते हैं. So you can, and they cause a lot of damage. I have covered lots of cyclones along the Andhra Pradesh coast, so I have great experience about what all cyclones do. Huge amount of rainfall, the trees would be swaying, wind velocity 140-150 kilometers per hour, and they cause a lot of damage. And the super cyclone that came to Odisha in 1998 was 1999 November. I'll put some photographs. My wife had gone there. The super cyclone, it was called. Huge amount of large number of people dead in places like Paradeep. You had dead bodies everywhere, houses destroyed, the trees completely fallen. So, I mean, cyclone brings about in its wake so much of destruction. It's really very, very unfortunate, very tragic. A tsunami which came in 2004 December 26, 2004 को सुनामी हिट हुआ था. I had covered that, which was one of the biggest tragedies to strike India. A day after Christmas, it came and hit mainly Tamil Nadu and to an extent Kerala. And places like Kadalur and Nagapattinam were completely smashed, with so many people dying in that tsunami. If you have seen a Tamil movie called Dasavataram, Kamal Hassan's movie, please see that, because it ends with the tsunami. Very beautifully, very nicely conveyed. Nicely means technologically very well conveyed. So please do have a look at it. It happens because of some earthquake which kind of move around in the Bay of Bengal, in the Indian Ocean near Indonesia, and because of that ripple effect की वजह से tsunami आता है, right? There is an organization called INCOIS, whose headquarters is in Hyderabad, whose job is to monitor tsunami-related warnings. Okay, so tsunamis can travel thousands of kilometers and submerge coastal areas, causing widespread damage, right? So that is something which you should be aware of. Then that's what we are talking about. On 26th of December 2004, India and 13 other countries around the Indian Ocean were struck by a powerful tsunami caused by an earthquake in Indonesia. What I told you, more than 2 lakh people lost their lives in India, in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and also the subsection islands further below. The coasts of Tamil Nadu and Kerala was severely affected and suffered much damage and loss of life. Now, such tsunami, उसके बाद कोई tsunami India में तो नहीं आया है, right? Japan was affected, but they are very destructive. They are rare but very destructive. And there are these early warning systems so that people can be evacuated. Evacuated का मतलब लोगों को बोला जाए जो भी समुंदर के पास रहते हैं खाली करो. I remember in 2004 the entire Marina Beach in Chennai was completely evacuated. People were not allowed to go there because the sea waves were like 40 feet, 50 feet high in the thing, completely submerging any kind of property which was there along the coast. So the Indian Ocean tsunami warning system, to which many countries now are contributing, so they kind of give early warning so that people can be evacuated and can be rescued. So this is what is called disaster management. कि earthquake हुआ, floods हुआ, cyclones हुआ, tsunami हुआ. So you need to do what is called disaster management. कि कोई भी इस तरह का tragic event हो तो उसको कैसे manage करेंगे? How will you rescue people? Abhi, as I am recording today, you have what has happened in Wayanad in Kerala, where landslide ki wajah se around 200 people have been killed. 2 villages have been completely wiped out. So many hundreds of people have gone missing, right? So it is both a natural plus also a man-made disaster. So iske mein kya hota hai? You need to, before that saying, heavy rainfall is expected, landslides are expected. So you need to evacuate people so that you can minimize the loss of life and try as much as possible to avoid the destruction of property. So there is something called the National Disaster Management Authority, which is called NDMA, okay, which is set up in Delhi to look at all disasters around the country. And every state has what is called the SDMA, which is the State Disaster Management Authority. So floods ke dauran, you will see this kind of people coming with makeshift boats, etc., to take people out of their homes if they are kind of stuck inside a flood hit area, right? So you have the NDMA, you have also the SDMA to deal with all these kind of disasters. The advantage is that because I have a lot of practical experience in covering all this, so I'm able to give you a lot of examples, which I hope will make the chapter more interesting. Otherwise, geography thoda sa na boring ho jata hai. Also, it will help you understand that much better. Now, oceans ki baat ho gayi. Now let's come to continents. Now, continents mein, they are visible on the maps of oceans. On the map of oceans, how many can you count? Now, isme interesting ye hai कि there is North America and South America. North America जहां पर USA, Canada वगैरह है, Mexico, USA, Canada ऊपर, नीचे Mexico, ये 3 countries हैं. South America में there are lots of countries. You have Brazil. I have gone to Brazil. You have Argentina. You have Chile. You have Peru, and you have many more such countries. Then you have Europe. You have Britain, France, Italy, Germany, Denmark. So many Sweden kind of countries. They're all in Europe. Asia, where of course there is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Japan, everything. We are all part of Asia, right? China. Then, but there are some people who refer to it as Eurasia. That is, Europe or Asia ko ek hi continent ka bhag mante hain because it's in a way connected. There is of course the Middle Sea, etc. there, but generally Europe or Asia se travel bhi kar sakte hain by road, passing through many countries. So many geologists therefore refer to it as a single continent called Eurasia. यूरोप का योर और एशिया. Africa and Eurasia are generally regarded as two continents, but sometimes as one. So let us summarize. So isme, if you want to look at it as four continents, it will be Africa, Eurasia, that is Africa or Europe or Asia ko combined, America, yani ki North America or South America, Antarctica or Australia. Agar aap isko, you want to see it as four continents. If you want to see it as five continents, then you will look at it as Africa, America, Antarctica, Australia and Eurasia. Okay, जिसमें Europe and Asia are together. If you want to see it as six continents, then you will see it as Africa, Antarctica, Australia, Eurasia, North America, South America. Alag alag kar do. But the most correct way to see it is as seven continents. That is Africa, Antarctica, Africa beach में, Antarctica नीचे, Asia हमारा, Australia right bottom, Europe हमारे left में, then North America extreme left and South America extreme bottom left. So the last list of seven continents is the most accurate way of looking at it. Okay. Because जब हमारे एशियन गेम्स होते हैं ऐसा थोड़ी है कि अफ्रीका और यूरोप वाले देश भी आके खेलते हैं. नो, खेलते नहीं है ना. तो एशिया में सिर्फ एशिया के देश खेलते हैं. राइट. Now you are having the Olympics. The Paris Olympics is going on in 2024. So the five symbols are referring to the five continents. So इसमें पांच कॉन्टिनेंट के हिसाब से देखा गया है. दैट इज अफ्रीका, अमेरिका, एशिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड यूरोप. द फाइव इनहैबिटेड कॉन्टिनेंट्स. एंटार्क्टिका में तो कोई नहीं है ना. एंटार्क्टिका में तो कोई, आई मीन यू हैव साइंटिस्ट वर्किंग देयर, बट देयर आर नो अदर काइंड ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग्स देयर हु आर वहां पे घर बसा के नहीं रह रहे हैं, प्रॉपर्टी खरीद के नहीं रह रहे हैं ना. सो these are the five inhabited continents. So उन पांचों के लिए these are the five rings, which is the emblem of the Olympics. Now look at the diagram on page 36, which is based on the seven continents. It gives you an idea कहां पर कौन सा है. जैसे मैंने कहा, you have North America, which is Canada, USA, and नीचे Mexico. Then you have South America, lots of small countries. Then this is Europe. Then this is the big continent of Africa. Then you have the small continent of Australia. And then you have another big continent of Asia. Okay. And this is Antarctica, नीचे. Now, you can make out which is bigger and which is smaller. मैंने already बता दिया है. Now, we finally come to islands. Now, the continents do not include all the landmass. There are something called islands, which is called, हिंदी में बोलते हैं द्वीप. Okay, द्वीप, महाद्वीप. So, द्वीप, जो islands which are called, they are surrounded by water on all sides. That's what is called islands. Continents are also surrounded by water, but continents are bigger landmass. Islands are comparatively smaller. Okay, so that's why they're called islands. There are lakhs of islands on the planet of different sizes. The largest one is Greenland. Okay, जिसको कि मैंने दिखाया था. It is to the right of North America, and Europe comes on this side. So I showed it right at the beginning. So Greenland is the largest island in the world. And you have to add the areas of 10 largest states of India to reach the size of Greenland. Okay, India has more than 1,300 small islands. This is mainly Andaman and Nicobar Islands, jahan par 572 islands are there. Many of them are not inhabited also. Okay, especially in Nicobar Islands, and many of them are tribals. So there are 1,300 small islands in India, mainly Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal, that is on the right-hand side, and Lakshadweep in the Arabian Sea, away from the Kerala coast. Then you have the India-Antarctica program from 1981. It has been exploring Antarctica, which has a very cold climate, obviously, very harsh environment, full ice rehta hai. And in 1983, India established its first scientific base station called Dakshin Gangotri. Gangotri is where the river Ganga starts flowing. So, उन्होंने उसका नाम दक्षिण गंगोत्री. दक्षिण क्यों? दक्षिण means south. And this particular place is in the southern part of the world. तो उसका नाम दक्षिण गंगोत्री लगाया in 1983. So there are about 40 teams of Indian scientists who have conducted research in this place, Antarctica, and they kind of study the evolution of climate, the environmental changes, global warming, climate change, etc. So they do the settlement where the scientists live even has a library and even a post office. How fascinating. So oceans and oceans and continents are vital parts of the environment and affect most aspects of our lives. Even if we do not notice it, we have mentioned that oceans send rain to the continents. ये सब मैंने आपको बता दिया है. The Earth's water cycle is dependent on that, right? ये सब हम science में पढ़ेंगे, right? Otherwise, there will be no rainfall. The Earth would be a desert अगर ocean नहीं होता. So you realize how important the entire ecology of Mother Earth is, right? Now, this is important. More than half of the world's oxygen is produced by the flora, that is the plant life in the ocean, which is why they are called the lungs of the planet, the planet's lungs, the oceans, the flora of the oceans. So the ocean therefore play a critical role in regulating the climate and sustaining life on Earth. Now, दूसरी बात ये, ओशियंस होता है, उसी के वहां पे ट्रेड रूट होते हैं, समुद्र, जैसे इंडिया ऐसा है, तो यहां पर पोर्चुगल था, वहां से एक्सप्लोरर्स हैड कम अफ्रीका को क्रॉस करके, देन दे हैड कम टू इंडिया लाइक दैट, द वास्को डी गामा, कोलंबस वगैरह, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड फ्रॉम यूरोप, दे ट्रैवल टू इंडिया थ्रू द सी रूट, थ्रू द ओशियन रूट, राइट? So they have nourished the cultures of coastal people all over the world. Military campaigns, Indian Navy, there are Navy exercises which take place. People migrate to other countries, other regions on ship. Then there are lots of stories about sea gods and goddesses. There are pirates, robbers on the sea. So ocean is a rather fascinating place. Someone who studies the ocean, ऐसे ही बता देता हूं, is called an oceanographer. आपकी जीके के काम आएगा. Okay. The United Nations has designated June 8. Now, this is again, अगर आपको MCQ questions पूछा जाए तो उसमें ये पूछा जा सकता है, which is known as World Oceans Day. Okay, to remind us of the major role the ocean plays in everyday life. It's the lungs of the planet, a major source of food and medicine. Food as in fish and other kind of aquatic life. People eat prawns, etc. ना, shrimp, prawn, etc. Right? But हम क्या करते हैं? हम उसके अंदर प्लास्टिक डालते हैं, गंदा करते हैं, समुद्र को गंदा करते हैं, महासागर को गंदा करते हैं, right? Should we do that? Should we do that? Please tell me, should we do that? What should we do as responsible citizens? We should not dirty our oceans and seas. So we should not pollute it. We should not throw plastic into it, because of which the marine environment is under threat. Because what happens is that when you put plastic, the fish, the other forms of aquatic life, they get trapped in it and they die, which is not good for the marine life. We have no right to kill the marine life in our seas and oceans, right? So it's our collective responsibility to protect the oceans for the future, because our oxygen, our climate is dependent on this. Otherwise, बारिश ही नहीं होगी बंदो, तो क्या करोगे? So this is what, so this is the revision quickly. They're called oceans. They're interconnected. The northern hemisphere has more land than southern hemisphere. And finally, they support all marine life and play a critical role in the world climate. And they are seriously affected and need our collective protection, right? तो क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर हम बाद में करेंगे. क्रॉसवर्ड ये आप खुद करें तो अच्छा रहेगा, या मैं करूं? करना है. Abundantly produced by the oxygen, one across, क्या होगा? Oxygen. Okay. 2 down, the largest island on earth, कौन सा होगा? Green land. Okay. Then 3 across, a large expanse of landmass, which will be continent. 4 down will be tsunami. TSUNAMI. Okay. Then a large continent of which India is part. Now, इसको large continent किया है, तो इसका मतलब Eurasia. Okay. Then 5 down, the smallest continent कौन सा है? Australia. Then the coldest continent, Antarctica. Nine down, island. Okay, कौन सा बच गया? 7 down, the largest body of water on earth. Pacific. कौन सा बच गया? 8 across. A major source of pollution of the oceans. Plastic. Done. कर दिया. Okay. So with this we come to the end of this particular chapter. I hope आपको मजा आया. मुझे बहुत मजा आया. समझ में भी आ गया होगा. And I hope to now see you in the next chapter of geography, which will be chapter 3 of your social science new NCERT textbook, Exploring Society, India and Beyond. Okay, tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends.